I recently shared with you my worst whiskies of 2024 and my best whiskies of 2024. Today, I am going to go through the best rare whiskies of 2024. Let's see what made the cut. What were the ultimate whiskies that I tried this year, no matter how hard to find, how rare, just the best 5 that I tasted all year. So today we are going to dive into that. Let's start with number 5. Okay, number 5 on my list of best rare whiskies of 2024 is from a distillery that has been demolished and no longer exists, and that is the Cappadonic 18 peated. When the bottles that are out in the wild are opened and enjoyed and finished, no more Cappadonic will ever be made again. It gave me, as an Islay peat lover, everything I was looking for in terms of that peaty influence on a whiskey, but it wasn't an Islay. It had the Speyside characteristics that you come to expect, and these beautiful, rich, fruity notes, a great malt profile, and a perfect balance of peat that all meshed together beautifully. It really caught my attention as it was something I very much enjoyed and was a little different to the peated whiskies that I'm used to. So it made number 5 on my list today, the Cappadonic 18 peated. The number 4 whiskey on my list today is a Longrow Red Expression, and that is the Pinot Noir cask matured 11-year-old. This one comes in at 53.1% ABV. There was 9,000 bottles produced worldwide, and it was bottled, I believe, in 2019. Incredibly beautiful, rich whiskey that just amplified those Longrow Red type profiles, being a peated whiskey matured or finished in red wine barrels from around the world. Gorgeous whiskey that just had so much to offer. The texture was fantastic. Wonderful, interesting flavor notes that you might not expect to find, and it just come together in this wonderful dram, and I cannot recommend enough. If you are looking at Longrow Red and you can get this specific expression, it's one that I most certainly think that you should go after. Okay, we are at number 3. The whiskey I have chosen for this spot is one that very much fits the bill of being a rare or unattainable whiskey unless you make your way to Springbank and do the barley to bottle tour. When I went, the bottling they gave us to start the day before we started the tour was the Hazelburn 24-year-old fresh sherry casks, and they were Oloroso casks. This whiskey was distilled in 1999, and it was just incredible. The most wonderful profile. If you know Hazelburn, it's a non-peated expression coming out of the Springbank distillery, and this whiskey having a perfect sherry influence, this gorgeous slight dryness from the Oloroso, the age behind it as well, and a solid ABV, natural color, non-chill filtered. It was a wonderful dram that I reminisce about and wish that I could buy bottles of this dram, but I'm nonetheless very thankful that I was able to experience such a gorgeous whiskey. So it's made it to number 3 on my list of rare whiskeys for 2024. The whiskey that has made it to the number 2 spot on my list of the top rare whiskies of 2024 is a Balmanac bottling in the Whiskey Sponge series, and it had an age statement of 33 years old. I was very fortunate to attend a tasting with Angus McGrail and go through some wonderful expressions that are archive bottlings of Whiskey Sponge, and this was one of the lineup, and it absolutely captivated me. It stood out from the lineup of, say, 5 or 6 drams that we tried, and they were all incredible, and this one for my palate was the most incredible of all. This bottling is edition number 51 in the Whiskey Sponge series, and given it has such an incredible age statement of 33 years, the spirit itself was distilled in 1988 and then bottled in 2022. We are looking at an even 50% ABV on this one, and it was one of only 211 bottles from a single cask. Everything I look for in a whiskey. It had the right texture, the right aromas, the right mouthfeel, the flavor, and to experience it, even if only a single dram of this whiskey, I am very, very appreciative that I was able to. Making it to number 2 on my list really shows how much that whiskey had an impact on me and how much I enjoyed it. Which of course brings us all to the number 1 whiskey on my top rare whiskeys of 2024 list. Ultimately, you could call this my top whiskey of the entire year that I tried. Not only the whiskey itself was wonderful and everything that a whiskey lover like myself is chasing, but the experience of enjoying it and where I was at the time and everything combined to be the ultimate whiskey with the ultimate experience. The whiskey that I am talking about is most certainly a Laphroaig Expression, and this whiskey is one of the 4 bottles that make up the Laphroaig Team Sherry Series of 2024. 4 bottlings that are chosen by the team that work at Laphroaig that are all different versions of sherry cask maturation, single cask whiskies that are only available at the distillery itself. I went on the tour and there was only 2 other gents with me, and the 3 of us got to sit in warehouse 1 and enjoy this whiskey straight out of the cask. And because there was only a few of us, they were freely pouring this many drams of this whiskey, and just great conversation right by the ocean in warehouse 1 with an incredible host, Ace. Thank you very much, my friend. And this is bottling number 2 of 4 in the series, being the Fino Sherry Cask. Absolutely wonderful. The Laphroaig that you know and love and enjoy as the base profile, but the combination with drier Fino Sherry just was magic. To have the experience to get to taste this whiskey at its purest form, fully unadulterated. This whiskey was super cloudy, non-chill filtered, natural color pulled straight out of the cask in front of me, and get to sit in warehouse 1 and enjoy it. It was everything I would ever hope for, and I'm hoping that potentially one day I can find a whiskey experience that tops it, but I don't know if it will be possible. For me, that was the dream. This one is a 16-year age statement. It is cask number 7, and there were only 327 bottles made, and I think we were very fortunate to be able to sample probably the remaining levels of whiskey out of that cask. And I'm hoping that you guys enjoy hearing about the whiskeys that made the most impact on me in 2024. So there we have it, guys. That is my list of top 5 rare whiskeys for the year being 2024. And I am very excited and looking forward to what wonderful whiskey adventures and journeys we all share together in 2025. Thank you for coming along, and I will see you very soon on the next McIntyre's Malts.